Hello and welcome to this British food tier maker tier list ranking video. So if you don't know tier lists, it's best at the top, worst at the bottom, or in this case actually well, worse is actually a couple of rows up from the bottom, a disgrace to Britain, and then you've got never had it mate and had it but don't remember taste. There's quite a lot of food to get through here, British food. Without further ado, let's begin, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Aero, the original Aero, it's pretty good, not the best Aero. After Eight, good as an after meal cleanser, not something I'd go out of my way to have, but they're pretty good. Heinz baked beans, the original version of them, they're alright, but there are better versions of Heinz beans, such as sausage and beans. Cheese and beans on toast. The cheese adds to it a bit, so I'd say pretty good. Black pudding, not my favourite thing on an all-day breakfast, but it is quite rich, it's quite tasty, so pretty good. Bounty, I like more than most people like it, and it's not my least favourite thing in a tin of celebrations. Bourbon biscuits, one of the best of the traditional British biscuits, I'd say, so pretty good again. Dairy milk buttons, yoghurt pot thingy, I haven't had it all that often, I don't think, but I know what it tastes like. It's such a familiar sort of brand, isn't it? So pretty good again. Cheese board. Cheese, it depends on the cheese, but if it's cheddar then it will be okay. I'm going to put it in it's alright actually, because the pretty good row is getting a bit clogged up there, isn't it? Next up is cheese footballs, I think it is. I don't think I've ever had them. They're made by KP. I think I've had something similar, so never had it, mate. This next one, I can't see what it's called exactly, but I think I have had them. They're like a different sort of crackery shape. I think I have had them, and I think they're pretty good. Bakewell tarts next. I do like a Bakewell tart. I'll even eat the cherry, so pretty good. Chewits, probably better than Starburst actually, from what I recall. I particularly like the strawberry ones. Pretty good. Chip butty are depends on the chips as usual. Certainly the traditional British chips are the best, but I do like the kind of McDonald's style fries. They're pretty good in them as well, so pretty good. Terry's chocolate orange, well, this is going to get in the bloody lovely category, because of the satisfaction of breaking up the orange, smashing the orange as it were. Cadbury cream egg, one of those things that's, again, it's just how it looks and how we're biting off the top of the egg and getting that kind of almost realistic egg and yolk effect. So I'd have to say that's similar reasons as Terry's chocolate orange in bloody lovely. Crumpets. I actually like them just plain with butter, like this, like in this picture, and they're also good with cheese and jam and Marmite and whatever. anything really. Yeah, they're one of the best, I think, really, we've got to offer. So a blessing to Britain, the first addition to that. Crunchies next. Yeah, I do like a crunchy. The sort of uniqueness of the filling. I don't think there's many other chocolate bars that have the honeycomb. So yeah, or that kind of honeycomb anyway. So yeah, bloody lovely again. Dairy milk, the original dairy milk. Yeah, even though Cadbury's has been taken over and sort of economised, I think, it's still one of the most satisfying snacks we have to offer. So I'd say pretty good. Digestives, original plain digestives, they're okay, but there are better digestives, i.e. any of, oh hang on, yeah, any of them with chocolate, any of them with chocolate on are better in my opinion. Next up, it looks like doner kebab in its component parts. Yeah, I do like a doner kebab. I like any kind of kebab almost, but yeah, it's one of my favourite sort of takeaways, so bloody lovely. Fish and chips. Well, funny enough, I don't have fish and chips very often, but I can't deny their sort of icon status, so I'm going to have to put them right at the top. Fish fingers. A downgrade from the chip shop fish, of course, but yeah, I mean, they're satisfying sort of evening, a cheap evening meal perhaps, or even a snack. So yeah, pretty good. Freddo, or Froggy as sometimes I hear them called. Obviously the thing with these is they've increased in price almost exponentially over the years, although yeah, they're still sort of just a small slag of chocolate. I don't think they have quite the same appeal as an adult, perhaps, but yeah, pretty good, I guess. Fridge Raiders, again, a bit like Freddos. They're the portions are too small in these for my liking. Yeah, they're all right. Winders, something I haven't had in probably at least 20 years. Yeah, I remember them being like really tasty, really messy, kind of a childhood favourite, I'd say. Pretty good. Hobnobs, yeah, sort of a slightly better digestive, I think. Pretty good again, although the chocolate ones are better than the originals. Hula hoops, not my favourite crisps at all. Yeah, I guess it sort of depends on the flavour, but yeah, they're too crunchy for me. And the whole thing of putting them on your fingers, that doesn't make up for it. So I'd say not great. The first thing, not great. Iron Brew wasn't great before the recipe change, and I haven't had it since the recipe change, but I'm assuming it's not as still, it's even more not great. So yeah, not great. Jaffa cakes, which I think are officially a cake. Jaffa cakes, yes, they are cakes, as I said. They're not my favourite, but I'd eat a whole packet of them despite that. So yeah, they have to be pretty good, I think. Hartley's jam, strawberry, it looks like. I guess this covers any kind of jam, strawberry jam, perhaps any kind of jam of any flavour, and marmalade even. Yeah, not my favourite sandwich topping or toast topping, but yeah, it's nothing bad about it. I'd say pretty good. Jammy Dodgers, well, I'm not a fan of these again. The jam in them, as it were, is not my sort of thing, and yeah, they're just sort of meh. So all right. Jelly babies. Obviously, these have charm of the whole biting the heads off sort of thing. and the whole uniqueness of the characters, it's pretty good. They're sort of tasty as well. So yeah, I'd say these are pretty good. Kinder Egg. The chocolate is one of the best out there. I think it's the combination of white and milk chocolate is good, really good. Again, the portion size of the chocolate is disappointing, really. And I would, if I wanted to seek this chocolate out, I'd go for like the bars of it, and but yeah, and obviously there's again a unique feature of the whole toy thing. So yeah, I'd say pretty good overall. KP nuts, I guess this covers any sort of nuts possibly. Yeah, I do like, it depends on the flavour, but I do like, just snack on nuts. Yeah, pretty good. Magic Stars. These have a subtle, very light and subtle sort of aerated thing going on, don't they? And they also have like the faces on the, like different faces on them. Yeah, these are sort of a nostalgic thing that haven't lost their nostalgia, for me anyway. So yeah, I'd say bloody lovely actually. Marms or Malms, however it's pronounced. Don't think I've ever had them. Yeah, they're very familiar in terms of appearance, but never had them. Never had it, mate. Marmite. Yeah, I mean, I'm more in the love category. I would say it's a nonsense that it's love or hate with this. I think there's some including myself who kind of just like it, and others who just kind of no, not really. But yeah, it's very, makes buttered toast a lot tastier. Yeah, pretty good. Matchmakers mint. I guess this would also cover all matchmakers. Yeah, Christmas sort of thing you see at Christmas, which is coming up to. Sort of, yeah, they're satisfying enough, I guess. They're sort of pretty good and tasty, yeah. Tesco meal deals, again, probably covers all meal deals. Not something I have very often, and I think the value of them is sort of declining, isn't it? And obviously it depends on what's in them, although you can obviously customise that to a large extent. So yeah, I don't have the sort of job that would require me necessarily to buy these, but yeah, they're all right. Next up is caramel chocolate shortcakes, or millionaire shortcakes, or millionaire shortbreads. Various different names for them, I think. Yeah, they're pretty good. A bit overly sweet, perhaps, and I remember not liking them when I was like young, a kid. Which is funny because you tend to like sweet things more when you're a kid, don't you? But yeah, they're pretty good. Mini cheddars. I actually prefer the large cheddars in a packet. But yeah, I do like mini cheddars. They're very tasty, very cheesy. Yeah, actually, I like them enough to put them in bloody lovely. Actually, now that I think about it. Monster Munch again. I think various different flavours. Not had them all that often. Actually, they're sort of a childhood thing again, aren't they? Yeah, I didn't have them as much as other crisps. I'd say pretty good, they're pretty tasty. Mr. Kipling Angel Slices. Not something I've had very often. I'm actually going to put this in first. One I'm going to put in had it but don't remember taste, because I don't really remember the taste of them, although I could probably guess, really sweet. Party rings, definitely another childhood staple. Yeah, they're sort of bland, really, aren't they? Even as a kid, I thought they were sort of bland. I mean, they look very nice, and it's sort of satisfying to savour the sort of sweet icing. But yeah, the biscuit itself is sort of bland. They're sort of like jammy Dodgers, in my opinion, but with less flavour, and they don't have the jam flavour going on. So yeah, I'm going to put them in not just about make all right. I was thinking of putting them in not great, but yeah, all right, I think. Penguins. Again, another unique feature of the joke on the packets and the famous jingle back in the day, pick up a penguin, which I think still might be on the packets, but yeah. Do I prefer the original? Again, different flavours of these, aren't they? I think there's orange. There's definitely orange. I think there's mint as well. Yeah, they're all pretty good, whatever the flavours are. Pepperami. Yeah, they're all. I think the flavours are all kind of go upwards in terms of spiciness, don't they? I do like the spicier ones, I think, better than the original a bit, but yeah, they're pretty good. For even as a not kid anymore, they're pretty good, I think. This is something I don't recognise particularly. It's Percy Pig sweets. I think strawberry sweets. Yeah, never had it, mate. Pizza Express. Frozen pizzas, supermarket pizzas. Yeah, these are really expensive and not great, actually. They don't have much topping on. They're not particularly big, not particularly filling for a pizza. If I'm going to get a supermarket pizza, it would usually be own brand or perhaps one of the other brands if they're on offer, like Goodfellas or Chicago Town. As it is, yeah, these are not great, to be honest. Pom Bears, sort of another childhood staple, that phrase again, which is sort of a bit bland, quite frankly. It's sort of, they're sort of the shapes of them are cute, but yeah, they're all right. Pork pie. Now, I have a lot of pork pies. Yeah, there's sort of variations on them, but I think all of them, just about all of them, are a blessing to Britain, actually. I'm going to put them in the top tier. Pot noodle. Probably more different flavours of these than just about anything else. Yeah, I'm not a fan of any of them particularly, but yeah, if there's absolutely nothing else in, I'll eat them. I guess that's sort of how some people eat them anyway, when there's nothing else in and you clean it out the cupboard. Yeah, they're all right. Sausage rolls. Sausage rolls, yeah, it depends on the quality. Obviously the Greggs ones are just about the best, but I like any of them, really. Or just about any of them. I'd say bloody lovely. Cream tea or scone with jam and cream and sometimes butter. Yeah, it has to be cream, I think, doesn't it? Yeah, it's not something I have often. It's sort of like feels like a posh thing. Well, it is supposed to be a posh thing, isn't it? Yeah, they're nice, very tasty. I'd say pretty good. Scotch egg. These are growing on me as I've got not as young as I used to be. Actually, I didn't like these as a kid, particularly. Yeah, they're sort of really filling. I do appreciate that, and you get a good dose of protein, I guess, from the egg inside. Yeah, I would say pretty good, actually. This is shepherd's pie and cottage pie. Let's assume it's either or both of them. Yeah, I prefer pastry as a filling, as a encasing for a pie than potato. But yeah, these are pretty good, satisfying, and yeah, pretty good. Skips, very similar to Chinese prawn crackers, of course. Slightly more flavourful, actually. I remember back in the day. It's almost like seemed like a myth, but I think I did look them up, and it was true that they did a cheese flavour of these, and yeah, I'd like to try those again. But yeah, the original prawn cocktail flavour are good, pretty good. Yeah. Potato smiles, or I think as most people call them, smiley faces. Yeah, when these are done in the oven, well done in the oven, and dipped in ketchup, there's very, very satisfying, even as an adult. So yeah, pretty good. Roast dinners, obviously various versions of this. They're all pretty good, just about, aren't they? They're blessings, in fact, really. If you do this right, then it's a blessing to Britain, a roast dinner, yeah. Cups of tea, yeah, I do. I prefer coffee slightly, I think, but yeah, when you need a kickstarter, there's not many things better, to be honest. I'd say pretty good. I think these are Tunnocks tea cakes, or are they just any kind of generic tea cakes? Anyway, whatever tea cakes they are of this kind, they're actually bloody lovely. The Tunnocks ones are the best, but even the ones with jam and marshmallow in, the sort of harder marshmallow, yeah, bloody lovely actually. Toad in the hole, again, variations in terms of quality, but even the sort of budget ones you get from the supermarket are pretty good, and the good quality ones are really good, so I'd say bloody lovely. Yeah. Turkish Delight, yeah, not a huge fan of the Turkish Delight itself. I think the chocolate around it kind of adds to it a bit. Yeah, not the greatest sort of chocolate sort of snack or sweet snack, really. Twiglets are next, and these might be the most prominent example on this list I haven't had. Yeah, amazing, really, but I've never had these. Yeah, from what I've heard, I think I'd probably like them, but I've never had them, mate. Next up is I think they're called Twister lollies. They're lime and strawberry and like vanilla or whatever, or is it pineapple, ice cream or whatever it is. Anyway, yeah, I've had them. Not for a long time, I don't think, but yeah, they're pretty tasty. They're not my very favourite ice cream of this sort of kind, but yeah, pretty good. Wagon wheels. Obviously, the whole shrinkflation thing is that whole debate issue has been often based around these, and there was a case, I think, of someone finding an old packet down the side of the sofa or something, and that it turned out it was considerably bigger than the current versions of them. But yeah, I think they weren't my very favourite as a kid. Actually, I had them. I had them as an adult once, and I enjoyed them more. I found them more flavoursome than as a kid. I think they might have changed the recipe for the better even, which is a rarity. Anyway, pretty good. Walker's crisps, again, about 1 billion different flavours of these. Sometimes they're only out for like a month during a World Cup or something, some of the flavours. Yeah, not the very best crisp, but the most omnipresent crisp, definitely. Yeah, pretty good. And there's not a flavour I dislike that I can think of particularly either. What's it? Not as cheesy as they used to be, I don't think. Yeah, and I do go for the sort of own brand ones if I'm going to buy What's It. I don't go for the original proper branded ones. Yeah, but yeah, they're actually bloody lovely. Actually, now I think of it, yeah. What's It? This is something I don't This is something I don't recognise. Bare strawberry things. I think I can't see what they're called. I think I do recognise them vaguely, but yeah, never had them. Colin the Caterpillar chocolate cake. Never had it actually. I know what it tastes like, but you know, chocolatey and sweet, basically, I assume. Yeah, obviously the big controversy about the supermarkets copying each other or whatever it was. Yeah. And this is another Colin the Caterpillar something or other sweets, I think they are. Again, never had them either, so they go there. Drumsticks, the original drumsticks, yeah. Obviously there's a whole teeth issue. My teeth aren't as good as they used to be, so I probably wouldn't go for these. But yeah, as a kid they were very satisfying. The strawberry and whatever it was flavour. Yeah. And there's a version of drumsticks I haven't had, I don't think. The squishes, yeah, never had them. Cadbury Flake, it looks like the version that's sort of more for the like eating on its own rather than putting in the ice cream. So yeah, I think that's slightly better than the other one, which is sort of crumbly, isn't it, and more crumbly. Yeah, these are pretty good. Fruit pastels, blackcurrant, I think is my favourite flavour. I think that's a lot of people's favourite flavour as well, isn't it? Yeah, I like all the flavours of these. Yeah, pretty good. Millions, I don't think I've had these. Again, these are sort of a familiar looking product, but I don't think I've had these, to be honest, no. Mushy peas, again, another prominent thing I've never had. Yeah, I mean, they're just peas that are mushy. I've had like non-mushy peas, which I don't mind, you know. So yeah, I'm going to have to put them in. Never had it, mate. Again, Tango Orange. Yeah, I think the apple flavour is my favourite, possibly. Yeah, Tango's pretty good. Probably one of the decent soft drinks, I think. Yeah. This is Bachelor's pasta sauce thingy, like ready meal, boil in a kettle, boil in a microwave, whatever it is thing. Yeah, never had it, to be honest. Not something I'd go out of my way to have. Branston's pickle, not something I had as a kid, but I have had as an adult, and it's pretty good, actually. Yeah, good thing to put in a sandwich. This is another snack I've never had, I don't think. Popworks, I think it's like a cross between popcorn and crisps or something, isn't it? Yeah, never had it, I don't think, no. Space Rays is another thing I've never had since childhood, so probably between 15-20 years ago, I would estimate. Last had these. Yeah, various different flavours again, and they're all pretty good, and I think slightly more iconic than Monster Munch to me. I think I'm going to put them in pretty good. Weetabix, yeah, I like them. They're good. They're actually good enough plain with milk. I should say. Yeah, I remember having them with like jam and butter on at one point. You know, that was actually a pretty good combination. But yeah, I do like Weetabix from time to time. So pretty good. And Yorkie, not a lot of love for Yorkie. Not as much as there should be. Obviously, there's a whole controversy about the, un-PC, unwoke thing that used to be on the packaging. But yeah, the chocolate itself is actually pretty good. I'm actually going to say I'm actually going to say I possibly even prefer it to Cadbury's, and yeah, I'm going to say I've heard to Cadbury's. I'm going to put it in Bloody Lovely, actually. It's chunky, it's sweet, it's satisfying, very satisfying. Bloody Lovely, in fact. So yeah, that will be my tier list ranking complete. I'll just let you linger on if you want for look at where they're all at. None of them are a disgrace to Britain, apparently, in my view. And the four blessings to Britain are crumpets, fish and chips, pork pies, and roast dinners. So yeah, that will be my tier list for British food done. And thank you for watching.